Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Now, why am I standing up? Why am I dressed up? Look, even Yubnub is wearing a hat. Why is this? Well, that's because, folks, we are celebrating. Celebrating because we just discovered a new outlet for old EU stories that we had never known of before. Special thanks to my good friend John Andrews for finding this and reporting it back to me. Folks, did you know that on the Old Republic website, underneath their blog, is actual short stories based off of the old EU material, right? The Old Republic, which is now known as Legends. So they are actually still making these stories every couple of months within the Old Republic. Now, it had been a couple of years since I visited the website, and back then I only went there because of the webcomic. I didn't know about this blog. In fact, on the blog is only just developer updates, which it still has, but that was all it had for its first couple of years, so I didn't even think of checking back on it. Well, John went ahead and checked back on it and showed me that from 2013 till up to this past week, they are still putting out short stories within the Old Republic every couple of months. So there's a lot of them. I gleaned over them. I read them all last night, which made for a long night, but it was worth it. So today I want to give you a list of stories that I think you should read if you're a fan of the Old Republic. Now, I didn't put these in chronological order because they don't have dates. In fact, no author was given to any of these stories. I can tell some of them happened before the Treaty of Coruscant, some of them did happen afterwards, and some it could go either way. So folks, read these on your free time. They don't contain any spoilers to the main story. Some of them are just detailed interviews. Some of them are just fact files, and other ones are short stories that really have no effect on the main story in the books and comics. But let me just tell you, kind of going in chronological order, of the ones that I picked for my own collection. The first one's called the Holonet News exclusive interview with Baron Deathmark. Baron Deathmark is a retired Huttball player, and so the interview is about him and his future partnership with a Hutt, which we find out later in another Holonet News exclusive interview with the Baron, that it's a kind of like an Ultimate Fighter ring. It's a death arena or something like that. And the interview is pretty funny. I enjoyed both of them, and I thought they were worth your time. Next up is a record of the Dreadmasters. Now, this is more of an article than a story. I found it interesting, so I pulled it, gave some information on the Dreadmasters about what they were and what they're like. So I thought that was interesting to read. The next one is The Search for Oricon. This is an actual story, and by the way, all their stories are about 4 pages long or 3.5. They're not really that long, so they're easy to read. This is a pretty interesting story here that I enjoyed. Next up you have Lana Beniku's journal, Darth Arcus. Like I said, it's just a journal entry about him. It was okay, but I took it anyway because it's a journal. Next one is called Surface Details. Folks, I really like Surface Details because it tells it from an alien's point of view and how he views humans. Like, here comes a human with a hair patch on his head. Sometimes humans don't have hair patches. And he can't tell if it's a male or female version of the species. And when they show their teeth, that means they're happy. A smile. So all that kind of stuff was really, really interesting, and I really enjoyed Surface Details. The next one was Wanted, Dead, and Dismantled. A nice little story. I should have seen the end coming. I didn't, but I should have seen it coming, but it's worth your time. The next one is Rishi, Places of Interest, and basically just talking about Rishi, the planet, the species, and whatnot. It was a nice little fact file there. I took it from my collection. Next up is Bedtime on Concordia. This is about kind of like a Mandalore family. It's just a little short story. Don't expect battles or war or anything. It's basically just a bedtime story in a way. But I really did enjoy it. And the newest one that came out was called The Price of Power. This one came out just last week. It's about Darth Maul testing his apprentice. The story is pretty good. Like I said, I wish I had an author to credit these to, but I don't. I couldn't even find a lot of this information on Wikipedia, like the actual short stories. So like I said, that's probably why they escaped me. But again, thanks to John, because we are all about finding new EU material. That's my first love. But folks, we need to talk about a book, right? So let's talk about it. The next book that you need to read in the chronological order would be Fatal Alliance, written by Sean Williams. Now, it's about a Hutt crime lord, Tasha Baresh, who's auctioning off some important and mysterious cargo from a ship, the Cinzia, that was destroyed. Now, the stuff that he's actually auctioning off is the nav comp of the ship, telling you where it was going, and then a mysterious cylinder that actually contains advanced technology, making these droids called hexes, who have the ability to take over the galaxy. Oh no, it's a threat to the galaxy. So the Fatal Alliance is between the Imperials and the Republic as they band together to stop a common enemy. Now, this was the first book that came out in the Old Republic books. And I have to be honest, at first I was very hesitant on getting this. I didn't know how much of the video game was going to be influenced by it. I didn't know if I was going to be able to understand it because I didn't play the video games like I've told you. So I was kind of hesitant. But then again, excellent. What a great story. It fits up with the rest of the Old Republic books that I've already reviewed. Sean Williams does a great job. There's a lot of interesting characters. In fact, one has a mind block that is removed and she opens up and understands her past. That was fun to read. There's a lot more in there than what's on the flap of the book. In fact, I hate the little description about what the book's about, because when I first bought it, I looked at that little description and went, this does not look interesting. And I was wrong. It was actually very, very good. Folks, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and show your support for the EU and do so today. I will see you next week with another video.